Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Nelson. Here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with news from the Vatican. A Vatican News Conference was held on Monday, April 9th for the presentation of Pope Francis's new apostolic exhortation on the call to holiness in today's world, titled in English, Rejoice and Be Glad. On hand at the press conference was the papal vicar of the Diocese of Rome, along with invited individuals from different nations who reside in Rome, who were asked to offer their impressions of the document. Rome Reports has more from the Vatican.
The Vatican presented the Pope's new apostolic exhortation on holiness, a spiritual guide for Christians of the 21st century. It seems beautiful to me that the Pope at this moment offers us the indication and goal of where we're all striving to go. It's not a document about canonizations or beatifications. This is, above all, about holiness today, a normal life and normal people. During the press conference at the Vatican, the presenters explained that the concept of the daily call to holiness is not new. However, the Pope deemed it worthy of remembrance through this work. The universal call to holiness is one of the things we've learned by reading the documents of the Second Vatican Council, since they emphasize the fact that today Christian holiness in ordinary life is possible, seems to me an element of great interest. Gaudete et Exsultate is a pastoral document that is especially addressed to the laity. It emphasizes that holiness is not only reserved to priests, bishops, or religious, but it's available to everyone.
In news from Rome, U.S. Cardinal Raymond Burke spoke to several hundred Catholics concerned about what they say as a growing confusion in the Catholic Church at a recent conference in Rome. The group is particularly concerned because of the way they feel that Pope Francis opened the possibility for some divorced and civilly remarried Catholics to receive communion. The Cardinal, a canon lawyer and former head of the Vatican Supreme Court, told those gathered that while the Pope has the fullness of authority and power in the Catholic Church, he can exercise that authority only in obedience to Christ, and if he does not, it is up to the Catholic faithful to object. At the end of the afternoon meeting in Rome, organizers released a statement affirming their belief that under no circumstances can divorced and civilly remarried Catholics receive the Eucharist unless they first obtain an annulment of their sacramental marriage or promise to abstain from sexual relations with their new partner. Along with Cardinal Burke, German Cardinal Walter Brandmüller, a church historian, headlined the conference. More news from the Vatican. At an outdoor mass in St. Peter's Square commemorating Divine Mercy Sunday, Pope Francis told those gathered that Christians should be grateful for shame because it means that we do not accept evil. Rome Reports has more from St. Peter's Square.
Pope Francis celebrated Mass for Divine Mercy Sunday in St. Peter's Square, accompanied by 550 missionaries of mercy. They are the group of priests around the world appointed to forgive the gravest of sins during the year of mercy. After the Jubilee, Pope Francis extended their work, and their mission still continues today. In his homily, the Pope asked Christians not to close off to God's mercy, which is experienced through forgiveness.
Io domando a me e a ognuno di voi. Io mi lascio perdonare? Per sperimentare quell'amore bisogna passare da lì. Io mi lascio perdonare?
Pope Francis additionally stated it's necessary to ask for the grace to understand shame. He explained it's not a closed door, but a first step toward an encounter, especially after one has sinned.
Quando proviamo vergogna dobbiamo essere grati. Vuol dire che non accettiamo il male e questo è buono. La vergogna è un invito segreto dell'anima che ha bisogno del Signore per vincere il male. Il dramma è quando non ci si vergogna più di niente.
The Pope also said that one should never lose hope when committing the same sins, but instead should insist on asking for mercy. He continued saying that with every experience of forgiveness, one feels renewed and even more loved.
Before concluding the Divine Mercy Sunday Mass, the Pope prayed the Regina Coeli prayer and condemned a new chemical attack in Syria that cost the lives of dozens of people, including women and children, in the city of Douma. The Pope said there is no good and bad war, and nothing can justify the use of such instruments of extermination against defenseless people and populations. The Pope prayed that political and military leaders choose the way of negotiation, which is the only way, he said, that can lead to a peace that is not that of death and destruction. And finally in the news, an interfaith service was held in Humboldt, Saskatchewan to mourn 15 people who died after the bus carrying the town's junior hockey team collided with a truck. The 15 dead included 10 hockey players between the ages of 16 and 21, the team coach, radio broadcaster, bus driver, and other team personnel. 14 others on the bus were injured. The prayer service was attended by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, as well as Hockey Night in Canada personalities Don Cherry and Ron McLean. The interfaith gathering was live streamed and watched across the province, including at St. Augustine Catholic Church just up the street from the arena. Condolences have been coming in from around the world, including messages from Pope Francis, Queen Elizabeth, and U.S. President Donald Trump. A GoFundMe page was set up to collect donations for families. Organizers hope to raise $10,000, but in less than 48 hours, donations exceeded $4 million. Well, that's all the information we have for you this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.